Hey there, in this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make Amapiano type beats in FL Studio. And this is a beginner tutorial and it's also meant for people who are just looking to get into making beats but want to start with Amapiano. Now I'm going to show you the basics, the fundamentals and the theories that you need to know to make Amapiano, and also you can use this theory and knowledge on other genres as well. Now we're going to split this tutorial into different parts. We'll start with the drums, then move to the chords, then we'll move to other melody types, then the bass, the lock drum, and also put it all together. We'll be looking at the arrangements as well. We'll be using stock plugins that comes with FL Studio, and I'll also be using my mouse because that's what most people who are new or beginners in music production will use. Now if you have MIDI keyboard, it's fine, you can also use it and follow along, but again I'll be using this mouse to show you that it's possible to make really good beats with just your mouse if you know what to do. So if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get started. Right, so this is FL Studio. When you open it up, yours might look a little bit different. Now it doesn't matter, we're still going to arrive at the same result. Okay, so the first thing you want to set is the tempo when you're trying to make any genre, but for Amapiano you need to know the tempo that Amapiano beats typically fall into. Now most songs in Amapiano genre typically fall between 110 to 115 beats per minute. Okay, you can also, but you commonly find more songs between the 112 113 range in the tempo. Okay, so I'm going to pick 112, type in value 112. By just simply right clicking, you can see the type in value, type 112 and enter, and you have that set. You can change this at any time, it's not permanent. Okay, so after setting your tempo, now we can begin our production properly. So let's start with the drums, and this is where it's very important. For you to make any genre of music, including Amapiano, you need the right drum sounds, and that's why I created my pack. Now you do not need this. If you have an Amapiano pack, you can work with it, but I recommend you get this pack if you're a beginner. Okay, so right here you just simply download the pack. The link is in the description below. It has drum kits, it has melody presets for all the different stock plugins that we use for making Amapiano beats, bass, lock drum presets, all of that good stuff, all organized, sound effects, and everything you need really to make a really good beat. So just simply right click when you download it, right click, then I'll come to extract. In Mac, all you have to do is double click it. In Windows, you have to like right click, then extract it. So this is the pack. So I simply right click, then copy it because we can't use it here right now. So I'll just simply copy. Then come to FL Studio again. Then come to packs, right click, open. Then we see this right here. Then you can just paste Command V in Mac or Control V in Windows. Then continue. And it's right here. Now all you have to do is just right click this banner right here and it's going to read the structure, and you can see right here. Now if maybe you can't access this tab for some reason, all you have to do is come to the edge and try to drag it out, and you can see it's pull out. Okay, and you can also collapse it by closing it in or dragging it in. Or if that doesn't work, you can come to this icon right here that says view browser / plugin picker. If I click it, you can see it toggles open, toggles close. All right, so now we have the sounds we need to make our drums. After this, open my channel rack, this button right here. You can click this stop bar right here to open your channel rack. Okay, then we'll come to the drums, the ultimate Amapiano drum kit right here. Then we can see different drum elements split into several folders, but we're going to start with the rim shot. I recommend you start with the rim shot because it's hard to get a rhythm or a groove from that. Okay, now we have different sounds. Now I recommend you pick just 3 different sounds that you like from this pack. Okay, so we have about 43 rim shots, enough variety for you to pick from and not get bored. So I'm going to click this right here. I like this guy. Then pick another one. I like this guy. I like this guy. So now FL Studios have a slight issue sometimes when it comes to having samples. Sometimes they may sound detuned or off key. For example, you can hear that sound versus 2 different things, right? But it's very easy to fix it. Okay, all I have to do is simply click this, then come to the settings icon, then scroll to C5, right click, and then if I press Q on my keyboard, it's the same as this guy, right? Come to this as well, make sure it's all on C5, and then this as well. Now this doesn't happen with every sample, but for FL Studio, there's some samples that you may find this as an issue. All right, so now we have our sound. So now how do we even play these rhythms? So there's a very simple cheat code that I'm going to share with you. All you have to do is click this first point right here, then count 2 steps, then click this guy, then count 2 steps again, then click just after it. And this is how it sounds. Turn up the metronome. And you can literally combine this, using different sounds to play these 3 notes. You don't have to use the exact same sound that you can use different sounds and you get to have a good rhythm. Or you could even do it like this, start from here, have this, then 2 steps, Tracy here, and have that as well. And then we can also layer it with maybe a snare or a different percussion. Let me try this. So we see slide the tune. So we'll come here, make sure it's on C5. Perfect. So now we just simply layer it. Make sure it's on the same line with where the sounds fall. And this is how it sounds. Then now let's have our kick. Come to the kick folder at the top right here. Different varieties of kick. Let's try that. Then we want black, that is 4 steps, black, red, black, red. Let's adjust the volumes. You can actually play with the volumes right here. So if I turn off this sound, these 2 sounds are quite loud. So to bring them down a bit. Then snare and this sound. Perfect. Now we have a simple drum pattern. Okay, of course you can keep layering this as much as you like, but let's add the percussion. We have perks as well. You could also play those initial the initial tip I showed you to play your rim shots. You could also do that with percussions if you don't want to use rim shots to play your drum elements. Okay, so let me try. Let me try this guy. Then this guy doesn't have that issue. So if you click here, you can see it's on C5, so it's all good. So I like that, but I don't like the feeling that much. It's good, but I can find something better. So let me drop this here. Yeah, I like that more. So what I have to do right now is just change this to bar mode. Make sure you're in bar mode on your playlist. And if you can't find your playlist, maybe it's closed, it's very easy to open it up. Just click this first button right here and you see view playlist. Okay, then I'll just simply drag it into my channel rack. Just drag it in about 4 times. All right, 4 good times, and then change it from pattern mode at the top of your screen to song mode. Perfect. Now we have, a simple and nice drum pattern flowing. Let's collapse these folders. Now we need a shaker loop, and we also have hard loops, interesting hard loops, and we also have shaker loops. So if I add this, it already matches your project tempo, so you don't need to, adjust the timing. Reduce the volume a little bit. Yeah, I like that sound. So you get your knife tool, because this is longer than the amount of bars we have. Get your knife tool and cut it. If the sound you chose is longer, you simply cut it, and we have this now. Reduce the volume a little bit. Yeah. Then next, you can add a hat loop, although optional, but we can add a hat loop as well. And this is how it sounds. After playing your drum pattern, the next thing we need is a chord progression. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to create a chord progression, and it's very easy. So we will simply create a new pattern by going to the top of your screen, and if you have a mouse wheel, just roll up, but if you don't, just right click and click find first empty and just click OK. Don't name it yet. Then we'll come to the Amapiano resource pack. Now we'll come to the chord. These are all sound presets They're all stock plugins, by the way, but these are sound presets in FL Studio stock plugins that we can use to play nice chords. So I'll just come right here and click any random one from the chord packs. Let me click 7 and see. If you give you this option in your own case, just click OK. It's not a big issue. Okay, so this is an electric piano, and there are other sounds. Let me pull up another random one. This is another sound. This is a nice sound, but I think I'll go with this guy for now. That is this. So I'll delete the other guy. I'll go with this and delete this other one. All right, so now let's create a chord progression. Simply right click, piano roll. Now how you create a chord is pretty easy, but first there are some settings you need to turn on if your FL Studio is new, okay? So just simply come to this drop down, then come to view, then come to key labels, make sure it's showing all notes. So if it's not, just simply right click all notes so that it's selected. Most likely yours will be showing just root notes, so we want all notes shown. Then next we want to come to edit, and then we want to make sure allow resizing from left is activated. Okay, right click to make sure it's checked, and that's pretty much what you need to set for a start in your piano roll to get the best out of it. And now if you're also using FL Studio 20 FL Studio 21, especially the latest upgrades, you can actually make chord progressions a lot easier to play by using this scale assist feature right here, the snap to scale feature, which we'll come to shortly. But first, let's come into making chords. Now, how do we make chords? First of all, we need to understand what these notes here mean, these black and white notes. These are all keys. They're called keys, okay? And then we have, if you observe, there's C4, D4, E4, right? And also here there's C5, D5, E5. And if you observe again, there's C6, D6, and E6. Now, what does this mean? This just simply means the higher the number attached to the alphabet, right, or attached to the keys, the higher the pitch, and the lower the alphabet, and the lower the number attached to the alphabet, the lower the pitch. So where do we play our chord? Because there's as low as 1, and then there's as high as 10. So where do we play our chords? Now for chords, most times you want it to be between the 4th and the 5th octave. Now this is not a rule, it's just a guide. Most times you want it to be between the 4th and the 5th octave. And where is that? If you scroll down, you could see it right here. This is the 4th, anyone that has 4 attached to it, or anyone that has 5 attached to it, okay? And if maybe you can't see yours to be as big as this, there's a notch at the top right. You can left click and drag to make it bigger or smaller. And at the top, you can also swipe this in when you left click and drag to make it bigger or smaller. You can just come here with your mouse wheel if you have a mouse wheel to make it bigger, to zoom in or zoom out, or bigger and smaller. So now let's make a chord. Now, if you observe once again, there is some light gray lines and some dark gray lines. Now, what this simply means, the light gray lines is telling you that these are the notes that are in scale, because a scale is just simply a collection of notes on your piano keyboard, all right? Simply a collection of notes. So we need to play the ones that are relevant to our scale, and that's why it's showing you these light gray lines, all right? So we're going to be sticking to it. When we're going to make some counts, we'll stick to the light gray lines. So now, how do we play a chord? Let's say I pick F4 as my chord, click this in here, then drag it out to a single bar. Please make sure your chord is, or your piano roll is on a quarter beat by clicking this snap icon, the snap to grid icon, then make sure it's in quarter beats. So you can then click and press Ctrl Q or Command Q so that it snaps or aligns to that grid, okay? So when you tap on it, then you simply count 1, 3, 5. And how do you do that count? This is wherever you click is your number 1, then we have 2, then we have 3, then we have 4, then we have 5, right? This is 4, this is 5, so 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me make it bigger so you understand it. This is number 1, F is number 1. The next key in our scale is this light gray line, G. Then the next key is A, the light gray line. Then the next key is 5, that is C5, this light gray line. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. So if I press play, it sounds like. All right, so now that is a chord. Now, how do we make a chord progression? Is very easy, okay? just simply repeat the same process in this place again. Maybe you come here, you just simply count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy. But if you're using the latest FL Studio updates, right, especially from FL 21, I don't know the exact number, but more recent FL Studio 21 updates, you can make this a lot faster by clicking this, right-clicking this first. Then make sure you click right-click C, then right-click major, because that is the skill we're working on. And then right-click snap to scale. Okay. Then when I highlight this, I can simply press Command B again, Command B again. Now what this does is that we can easily create our chords without playing the notes one by one. I could just hold Shift and it aligns to that scale. Here it sounds when I play it now. Easily. But if I turn off this scale, this is how it sounds. You see, it doesn't sound so good, huh? So that's why we need this turned on. Take this up here, highlight this again. To highlight, just simply hold Command or Control if you're using Windows for Control, Command for Mac. Then just hold it, then left drag on your mouse, and then simply hold Shift and move up. Nice. So I like that progression. So if you don't like maybe how this sounds, you can simply move it up again, go up again, or come down. Just move it around till you like a place, or you like where the chord sounds. All right. Now you don't have to start from F, or you could start from E, you could start from D, you could start from C, you could start from any of the alphabets, or any of the keys. Okay, you don't have to start from F because I started from F. All right, so now we have our chord progression. So we can also make our chord progression a bit more interesting by playing something called 7s and 9s, okay? So if I were to do that, this way I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 6, 7. So if I press play, this is 7, this is 8, this is 9. Let's see how 7 sounds. I like 7. I prefer 7, so I'll go with 7. Then we'll come here. 5, 6, 7. Let's try 9, 8, 9. I'm not so sure about that. I like it, but let me take that out for now. Then let's come here. 5, 6, 7. Let's try 9, 8, 9. Then we'll come here. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I like the 7 already, but let's hear the 9. That sounds good, but I prefer the 7 here. So now after this, just simply press Option X on Mac or alternate and X to make the chords a bit softer to reduce the velocity. Okay, velocity is just simply how hard you hit the chord. So you see now it sounds a lot softer, right? You can hear that. Versus. So you can hear, So you can hear how soft it is. Yes, why there's a drop in volume? Let me increase the volume to make up for the difference. You can hear it's still sounding soft. Perfect. Now let's play with our drums and see how it sounds. Simply drag from pattern 2 into your playlist, then change it to song mode. Increase the volume. Perfect. So now, if you don't want to go through the stress of playing these chords by yourself every time, or maybe even get bored, this resource pack also comes with chord progressions. So let me collapse this. If I come down here to the Palazzo MIDI chord pack and I open it again, after this, just open my piano roll and drag and drop chords on top of it. Make sure you turn off import time signature. And if I press play, drag another one. Drag this guy in here as well. Let's drag. I like this. So let's take this. Now you can try to take this to a lower octave. Maybe you don't like how the 5th octave sounds. Let's try the 4th octave. And the one thing I like about this MIDI chord pack is this tells you the bass notes. Now we're going to talk about what this means as we progress in the lesson, okay? It lets you know what the bass notes is, so you don't have to try to figure it out, because the bass notes are super important for you to know where they are, especially if you're new to making music. You need to know where your number 1 or your bass notes are, okay? So these are the bass notes. For every chord you bring in, the bass notes will always be at the bottom. That is for each of the chord from this chord pack, it will always be at the bottom, okay? So we're going to go rock with this. Reduce the volume a bit. I like this. So now we've created our chord progression. So you can see this resource pack does make it a lot easier for you to make beats, okay? It trains you to know how things should sound, okay? Unlike if you're trying to find each sound on your own, which can be stressful, especially in the beginning, it can be overwhelming. It's best you train your ears to know how it sounds. So even if you have to shift to other plugins or other sounds, you kind of know how it should feel and how it should sound, because you've trained your ear to listen out for those type of expressions. So now we can close this and then we can move on to our lead melody. So we can come right here into the leads. Now we also have up to 13 different presets. So let me bring in the sound and see. Not bad. Let me try another one. I like this one. Let's try this piano roll. So now to play our lead melody is very easy. All you have to do is just follow the number 1, then make the note small. Then you can play it on any of these light gray lines. You can even highlight it, then command up or control up to take it to a higher octave. Sorry, it's supposed to be here. Or you can bring it here if you like. Or you can even take it here. Then do the same thing here. Then highlight this, hold command and shift, and bring it so that it has the same sequence. You see, just 2 steps, then 2 steps here. Reduce the volume a bit. So now there's a little trick we can do to make our melodies interesting by sliding the notes. So I'm going to click slide right here, then click this, hear how it sounds. Or you could even take it up. You can even take it to a much higher octave. This is A4, let's take it to A5. Also take it to a lower octave. I prefer the lower octave. Reduce the volume. All right, so now So now we're going to work on the counter melody. Okay, so the counter melody is also pretty easy. We'll close the lead melody section, then come to counter, and then we'll bring this in here. This is not bad. Let me bring in something else and see. Let me try this sound. Piano roll. So for the counter melody, you want to stick to the scale. Remember, we're working on C major. Remember, I talked about C major, right? So we'll look for C or C here. So exactly, we want to stay there. Then we'll change this. Make sure you turn off your slide if you have it on. Increase the volume. Reduce velocity. Then just highlight this, then hold shift and drag to repeat it faster. You can click it manually if you like, but this is faster. Reduce the volume. Let's try a higher octave. We can take it to as far as 6th octave. Again, you can also make your counter melodies even more interesting by using slides to play with it. For example, I could slide it down here. So you could play with that if you like that. You can basically, just have fun with the notes for your counter melodies, okay? But you want to keep it simple. At most 2 notes in a bar. This is a bar, 1 and 2. At most 2 notes. I recommend 1 or 2. Anything more than that may be too much. So let's try a different sound. This is good, but let's just try something else. Let's move it forward a bit. Yeah, I like this. You can also make a second counter melody. I have flutes in here. We could try that. So just click right here. Same thing on C. But you kind of want to dodge. This is our counter melody. You kind of want to play like in between, okay? Again, make sure you turn off the slide. Make the note smaller. Reduce the volume a bit. Right, so now we have our 2 counter melodies, okay? And next, we're going to create ambient melodies. So we're going to close this and come to ambient and pad. And we're going to drag this in here. And let's try something else. Yeah, I like this. So piano roll. So the first one we're going to play is just going to be following the root scheme. Remember I talked about the bass notes. So we're going to take this. Place this. You can reduce this here. You want to follow it, okay? Tap on it to get the notes properties, and then simply command up, because this may be too low for it to get the best out of the ambient melody. Let's take it to the 5th octave on here. Let's try higher. Let's try something else. Let's reduce the length of the notes. because ambient melodies typically have like a long sustain. So if I were to solo it, to solo a sound or hear only just a singular sound, right click and press solo. You can see he has a longer sustain than the note allows. You can hear it keeps going, right? So that's why we have to reduce the length of the notes, okay? So we'll turn everything back on. And let's have another ambient melody, although this is fine, but let's have one more. That's not bad at all. Let's try something else. You need to make sure that the sound different from any sound you have in your channel rack. So now we can play. We don't have to follow the number one anymore. We can kind of like play a little bit with the notes. I like that. Again, you can also play with slides. Let me take you to a high octave. So here. It has a long sustain, so let's reduce the length. You can see you can have fun with this, right? Now let's create our pad. Okay, our pad is pretty easy to make. Just drag a sound in here, then just copy your chords, then paste it in here, reduce the volume. Try high octave, command up or control up. All right, so now it's time for bass. So we're going to come to bass. We're going to close this. Then open up bass. Now we have about 7 different bass presets in there. Not bad. Let's see this one. Yes, this is one of the most popular bass on Amapiano. So again, remember we talked about bass notes. Now typically bass notes are within the 3rd and 4th octave. Okay, so I'll click this in here, click this in here, then this in here, then highlight that and drag it out. Let's try the 4th octave. If I turn up the main chord, the good thing about Amapiano is that you don't always have to leave your chord on, but when we get into arrangements, you see parts where we take the chords out of the equation. Okay, so the next we need a 2nd bass. Let's try. Okay, we'll use this bass later on. To come right here. Then yeah, just like that. High octave. I need a bass with more sub. We should have something like that in here. Yes. Let's try high octave. stronger. So now we have two different bass lines. Okay, so we're going to turn this off. We're going to use this bass on, like, you know, the verse or in the bridge. And now let's play our log drum, one of the most interesting parts in Amapiano. So, and this again, this resource pack comes with log drum, Fruity, the extend, the presets that makes it sound interesting. So I bring a different one. You can see a different sound, right? And another one again. So let me go with this guy. I'll delete the first preset. All right, so log drums are pretty easy. Just write piano roll. You can increase velocity to make it hit harder. Reduce the note. Zoom in so you can see. Just create a simple pattern. Then let's try a different sound. Let's see this. Yes, I like that sound. But I want something a bit softer. But this preset has everything you need. Yeah. Perfect. So then repeat the same thing, but in the other half we're going to create some variations. Then we're going to create some rows. Yeah. Have this. And this is a very common Amapiano drum, log drum pattern. And sometimes you can even make it more minimal, strip it down. You can strip it down to make it more minimal, and we can also make it more interesting by highlighting maybe this other half and bringing it down to lower octave. Take it to a higher octave. Bring this down. Let's bring this down as well. Right there. Perfect. So now we have a nice and simple log drum. So now we have a nice and simple log drum. And again, if maybe I don't play with log drum, you don't like the exact sound, you can always swap it out with any of these guys. I like this even more. So you can see different vibes, different feels to match what you like. this. So now we are done playing all the parts that we need for now in our Amapiano beats. So we're going to break all of this up so we can have a full song arrangement. So I'm going to open my piano roll, my playlist, and all I have to do first of all is come right here, right click, then click split by channel, then just simply drag each of these guys down one by one. And if maybe you get a sound that is not complete or a clip that isn't complete, just simply drag it out like this. Then keep dragging everything out till that track 4 is empty. Okay, keep dragging everything out. Make sure it's all empty. Perfect. Then you want to hear to make sure it's all complete. Nice. So now we're going to highlight all of this and then move it all the way out. Again, make sure you're in bar mode on your playlist. Move it all the way out. We need to go as far as possible. Let's just say we stop at 100 or 101 for now. Okay, it needs to be perfectly within the section, either in the dark side or in the dark side, but it needs to occupy perfect 4-bar region. Okay, so now let's create our sections. First, we need to have our intro. Take your cursor or your playhead to the beginning, press Option T, then just simply write intro. Then you want to count like 8 bars. A lot of Amapiano songs have their intro up to 8 bars or even up to 16 bars, right? So let's have our intro, 8 bars, Option T. Then you want to have your verse. Then your verse can be up to 8 or 16 bars. So let's have our verse on 16 bars, Option T. Then we can have our bridge or pre-chorus. Now your verse can be 8 or 16 bars, but remember, the longer the bars, the longer the song, the shorter the bars, the shorter the song. Okay, so I'm going to have bridge right here for about 8 bars. Let me have my bridge for about 8 bars, Option T. Then hook or chorus can mean the same thing in this context. Chorus 1 or first chorus. Okay, then it can be for 16 bars again, then Option T. Then verse 2 or second verse, another 16. You can make it 8 if you like, but we'll have it on 16 bars because this is 4, 8, 12, 16. So right here, then we have bridge 2, then chorus 2, Option T, chorus 2, 16 bars as well, Option T. Then we can have our outro, can last for up to like 8 bars. If maybe yours, is encroaching, you can simply highlight everything and move it out of the way. Then we want our outro to be about 8 bars. Then Option T. Then we have end. If you want a shorter song, mine is currently 3 minutes 34 seconds. If you want to say the time, just simply left click to change it from bars to minutes and seconds. If you want a shorter arrangement, just simply stick to 8-bar verses and 16-bar chorus. It will be about 3 minutes or less. All right, so now this is what we have. Most times in Amapiano, the drums typically start it. You typically hear the drums almost everywhere in the song. So I'll keep taking this up until it says end, Command B. So I want this sound to come in halfway. Yeah. Perfect. So now let's have our chords. Even though we may not have it start in the beginning, but again, we'll bring it to the beginning. Let it run all the way through. Right. So now we want to play on the chorus, like bring the sounds into the chorus. And now most times, all the sounds you hear typically gather up in the chorus, except for the bass. We'll come to the bass later. So just highlight this, bring it here, then Command B, and then highlight this as well to the second chorus. Now let's work on the verse. So I'll take away the chords. Now you don't always need a chord progression on your verse. You could have your lead melody. Then you can have one of your ambient melody. Let's try this guy. Let's try a counter. Let's see which combination makes sense. I think I'll go with the ambient. Or just the ambient. You can keep going. Then 8 bars in, you can bring in your lead. Then in the bridge, you can bring in some ambient melodies. Pardon me, I think I made a mistake. This is more than 8 bars. This is actually 20 bars. So we can actually delete this section. Let's highlight this, delete this, and then bring everything back. So this is just shifted. There should be an easier way to do this, but for now I do not know an easier way. But so you just bring this back. So we take the chorus as well, and then the outro, and then the end real fast. Okay, so now let's bring in the bass. So the bass can start from second half of the verse. We turn it on. Turn on the basses. Raise the volume a bit. And bring in the log drum into the chorus. And if you want to keep it really simple, you don't want your chords to be in your chorus, that's also fine. Back into the verse. And let's also have the log drum here and this bass here as well. So this bass, remember I said we have a bass, right? We can use this in the verse. You could even have this bass repeating. The vibe all depends on you. Let's have this. Alright, so now let's have the outro. Let's work on the outro. Most times you want the outro to sound like it's ending. It could end like that in a very simple way, or you could even, what my favorite what I like to do is I like to highlight the sounds that come just before the outro and start taking stuff out. Perfect. So this is how I like, to arrange my outro. Again, you could add or take out more stuff. That all depends on you and the vibe you're getting from the beat. Okay. So now we need to add some sound effects to make the arrangement even more seamless. Okay. And again, this comes with a lot of nice sound effects. If I come back to the drums, if I come down to FX, we have risers and impact. Risers basically build. You can hear that like it builds into a section. So I'm going to come right here. I like this sound, so let me bring this in here. Play it just before this section halfway. Raise the volume some more. Let's have this by the bridge. Raise the volume. Okay, let's have some impact. Do a combination here. Reduce the volume. Yeah, like that. So the sound effect is from my unlimited Amapiano drum kit, and I like to use it in my intro and in my chorus. So you hear this in lots of Amapiano songs. This is how it sounds like. You can have this as well. So just like that, we've done our interesting and simple Amapiano beats using just stock plugins in FL Studio. So let's hear from the top. I can take out this part out now. Let's hear from the top and see how it all sounds. Hey.